Welcome to your ultimate pit stop, Piston Pundit, the place where we cut through the noise to bring you the real story behind the biggest automotive and trade shakeups. Today, we're diving into the escalating trade conflict between the US and Mexico. And let me tell you, this one's getting intense. In recent months, trade tensions between the United States and Mexico have hit a boiling point. When President Donald Trump imposed hefty tariffs on Mexican imports, Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum wasted no time firing back. The automotive sector is right at the heart of this clash, with both countries facing potential economic fallout and strained diplomatic relations. The consequences for trade, industry, and political stability are mounting fast, and the automotive world is bracing for impact. Let's break down how this high-stakes conflict unfolded, the strategic moves from both sides, and what this could mean for the future of US-Mexico relations. The roots of the US-Mexico trade conflict. The seeds of this trade war were planted during Trump's 2024 re-election campaign, when he vowed to protect American industries by imposing steep tariffs on foreign imports. True to his word, in February 2025, Trump slapped a 25% tariff on all goods from Mexico and Canada, along with a 10% tariff on Chinese imports. His goal? Strengthen domestic manufacturing and tighten border security. But Mexico wasn't about to take this lying down. Over 80% of Mexico's exports head to the US, with the automotive sector making up nearly 27% of that total. When the tariffs hit, automakers immediately warned of higher production costs, rising vehicle prices, and a weakened competitive edge for North American-made cars. President Sheinbaum responded swiftly and decisively. "We will not accept Trump tariffs. If they come, we will respond in kind," she declared. The Mexican public stood behind her, viewing the tariffs as an economic threat and a direct challenge to national pride. The stage was set for a showdown, with both governments preparing to dig in. But economic pressure wasn't the only factor in play. Political strategy and diplomatic maneuvering soon took center stage. Strategic moves and diplomatic jockeying. Sheinbaum's approach to the tariff crisis has been a mix of strength and diplomacy, and it's paying off politically. On March 9th, Sheinbaum addressed a massive crowd in Mexico City's Zocalo Square to celebrate the temporary suspension of US tariffs. Tens of thousands of supporters waved Mexican flags and chanted, "Mexico is to be respected," as Sheinbaum declared that dialogue and respect had prevailed. The rally came after intense diplomatic back and forth between Sheinbaum and President Trump. Trump imposed a 25% tariff on Mexican and Canadian goods on March 4th, citing concerns over drug trafficking and illegal immigration. Initially, Sheinbaum threatened countermeasures but held off, adopting a calculated cool head approach. Following a direct phone call between the two leaders, Trump agreed to suspend tariffs on goods under the USMCA agreement until April 2nd as a gesture of respect for Sheinbaum's efforts. At the rally, Sheinbaum reinforced Mexico's commitment to sovereignty and national pride. "We cannot give up our sovereignty or allow foreign governments to dictate our policies," she said. Her supporters responded with roaring approval. Analysts note that the public display of unity has bolstered Sheinbaum's domestic standing, with her approval rating climbing past 60%. Despite the temporary truce, the situation remains fragile. Trump's decision to maintain tariffs on steel and aluminum starting on March 12th has left markets uneasy. Sheinbaum warned that Mexico remains ready to retaliate if Trump follows through with these tariffs. While Sheinbaum's strategy has earned her political strength at home, the economic fallout from prolonged uncertainty could still threaten Mexico's stability and trade outlook. But the automotive sector remains on edge, caught between political posturing and economic pressure. Before we delve deeper, do us a favor and smash that like and subscribe button. This helps us reach more auto enthusiasts just like you. Now let's shift gears and steer towards our next point: auto industry caught in the crossfire. The automotive sector quickly emerged as the primary casualty of this trade war. North America's auto industry depends on an intricate supply chain where parts cross borders multiple times before final assembly. A 25% tariff on Mexican imports threatened to upend this system, driving up production costs and increasing sticker prices. Ford warned that the tariffs could raise the price of models like the F-150 by as much as $12,000. GM and Stellantis echoed similar concerns, highlighting that supply chain disruptions could force production slowdowns and increased outsourcing to other markets. Dealers were caught in the middle. The looming threat of tariffs forced them to rethink pricing strategies and promotional offers. Some shipments were delayed, while others were outright canceled. The North American auto market's competitiveness on the global stage was suddenly at risk, with automakers from Asia and Europe poised to capitalize on the chaos. Mexican manufacturers felt the squeeze as well. Factories producing key components faced production halts, while U.S. companies scrambled to secure alternative suppliers. The supply chain chaos revealed just how interconnected and fragile the North American automotive market really is, and why this conflict is more than just a political showdown. But the automotive fallout was just the beginning. Broader economic consequences soon followed. Economic impact and market fallout. The tariffs sparked immediate turmoil in the markets, with automotive and manufacturing stocks taking the biggest hit. The Dow Jones plunged over 700 points as investor anxiety surged. The Mexican peso depreciated nearly 5% against the US dollar, raising inflation fears and weakening consumer purchasing power in Mexico. Automakers like Ford and GM warned that higher production costs could undermine their global competitiveness. Mexico's government responded swiftly. President Sheinbaum proposed strengthening trade ties with South American and Asian markets to reduce reliance on the U.S. Talks with Brazil and China gained traction as Mexico sought to diversify its trade portfolio. The agricultural sector also felt the pressure. American farmers, especially in Texas and California, faced retaliatory tariffs on key exports like corn, soybeans, and avocados, increasing political pressure on the Trump administration. Despite a temporary suspension of tariffs, uncertainty lingered. The White House warned that tariffs could return if Mexico failed to meet border security demands, but Sheinbaum stood firm, declaring that Mexico would respond in kind if necessary. The economic and political standoff was far from over, and Sheinbaum's handling of the situation had significant political consequences. Diplomatic and political fallout. Sheinbaum's handling of the tariff conflict turned into a major political win at home. By March 2025, her approval rating soared past 80%, with Mexicans praising her firm but diplomatic defense of national sovereignty. In the U.S., the response was more divided. Trump's core base, especially hardline immigration supporters, accused him of backtracking on campaign promises. Conservative commentators questioned whether economic pressure had forced Trump's hand, undermining his America First stance. Business leaders, however, welcomed the pause. Automakers and agricultural groups had lobbied hard against the tariffs, warning that prolonged disruption could trigger supply chain chaos, factory closures, and job losses. Their pressure played a key role in Trump's decision to hit the brakes. Internationally, the conflict raised concerns about trade stability. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau pushed for renewed USMCA talks to avoid supply chain fallout. Mexico seized the moment to strengthen ties with China, Japan, and the EU, signaling a shift away from U.S. dependence. Despite the diplomatic win, tension remained. White House officials warned that tariffs could return if Mexico didn't meet border security demands. Sheinbaum responded bluntly, "Mexico will not be intimidated." But the big question remains: can both nations find a stable resolution? The verdict: can Mexico and the U.S. avoid a trade war? The temporary suspension of tariffs has created a fragile truce, but the underlying issues remain unresolved. Border security, trade imbalances, and political pressure on both leaders could easily reignite this conflict. For the automotive industry, the stakes are particularly high. Supply chain disruptions and higher production costs threaten North American competitiveness. Automakers have warned that ongoing instability could lead to factory closures and job losses in both countries. What do you think? Can Mexico and the US stabilize trade relations without another round of economic retaliation? Or are we headed for a full-blown trade war? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe to Piston Pundit for more updates and expert takes on the automotive world. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you next time.